this is going to be great.
Welcome to the White House pod with David A.R.
I'm going to finish what I started.
It's not easy. It's simple.
John Ratzenberger, thank you so much for joining. I haven't seen you in a few years. Somewhere around, I feel like it was What If was the last time I saw you in person.
That's right. Yeah, the film I did up there with Christy and Kevin.
Yeah, exactly. How you been?
Okay. I got a little miffed this morning. I heard on the radio some guy talking that we're depleting about 500,000 construction workers and skilled labor. And I've been lecturing on that for 30 years now.
Yeah, I heard that.
Nobody listens.
It's amazing what you're doing with that. Where are you coming to us from right now?
Southern California, Rancho Mirage.
Okay, nice. I'm in. The studio here is in Burbank. You've been in LA for quite a long time now.
Well, yeah, LA, London, and Seattle area.
Where are you from originally?
Connecticut.
Okay. And did you are you liking living in Los Angeles, or did you ever want to move out of here?
No, I like being near the sea. I'm a sailor, so I like being near the water.
Yeah.
So, but my kids are here, my grandkids are here, so I'm not going to move anytime soon.
How did you end up going to London, England, though, to start your career there?
No, I didn't go to start my career. I went to visit a friend. I was a carpenter at the time in North Vermont. And he sent me a postcard saying, oh, you got to come over and blah, 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 this and that. And I got a tax refund check for exactly the amount of the fare to London one way in a charter flight, Icelandic Air. And I went and stayed 10 years. I went my original plan was to stay a week, maybe two. I stayed 10 years.
Were you like 20 years old at the time, or 21, 22? You were early 20s, right?
About that, yeah. I forget.
And did you just love the theater there, or like what kept you in England of all places?
No, well, my friend Ray Hassett, he became an undercover policeman. Anyway, we started our own two-man comedy show that we used to do in college, just to the delight of everybody else sitting in the cafeteria. And we'd be these different characters from the town we grew up in, Bridgeport, Connecticut. And so, hey, Hank, how you doing? Hey, not too bad. Hey. And we'd have these conversations to the delight of everybody. And finally they put us on stage, and one thing led to another, and he moved to London, and I moved to North Vermont, and I heard from him, and we started doing that again. And so we did a two-man comedy show. We were on stage for about an hour, maybe an hour and a half, without knowing what we were going to do before we got on stage. And it hit. We were a big hit in the Fringe Theater in England and Europe. So that's what I did for 10 years.
Did you run that show for 10 years?
Oh, it was more than one show. It was a series of shows. And about 8-10 years, yeah.
I mean, that's so, like, you wouldn't think Americans going over, to England would be a hit show, because they say British humor is it's a little bit different than American humor.
No, it's not. It's no different at all. The college here in America teaches you the wrong things.
Right.
And we found out they greeted us with open arms. Holland, Germany, everywhere we performed, we were big hits.
Did you have singing in it, or were you playing instruments as well, or was it just like a Abbott and Costello type of a thing?
Oh, no. That would mean we had money to buy instruments. No, nothing. We just got on stage and did funny things. I once did, I think it was 20 minutes. I did something with one of my favorite pieces. I did something with the hotel bells that you ding with your hand. Ding. I did 20 minutes with just with the bell. No dialogue, just with that bell. And it was hysterical. It was like a guy who just walking by and said, I wonder what that is. I discovered that it rang, and it was funny. Can't explain it, obviously, but it was one of my favorite bits.
Did you guys ever want to revive your comedy show? You know, like how Steve Martin and Martin Short travel around and they seem like they're doing their show all the time. You know, did you guys ever want to revive your show, or have you wanted to do a similar version of what you did, you know, for 10 years there, here in do a Vegas show or?
You know, we've talked about it, but I no, not really.
It's a lot of work.
You know, like I said, I got my grandkids here, and he's got a life in Connecticut, and you know, we still talk and we're still friendly, but that's about it.
Yeah. Walk us through, how did you end up getting Cheers? Like, so you come back to the US. Do you start auditioning like right away? Was it hard to get an agent because you were so well known all over Europe, or?
No, it was difficult to get an agent. They didn't believe my resume. Oh, I came to America on a writing assignment. I was hired to co-write a sitcom for CBS based on the life of the Emperor Nero. And that went well. And so while I was here, I thought, well, I might as well see if I can get an agent. Well, no, the truth is, I couldn't get an agent. Like I said, they didn't believe my resume. So I was helping a guy restore tape machines, VHSs, you know, going in there with a screwdriver and tinkering around. And he said, hey, I'm delivering this to an agent this afternoon. You want me to mention it? Yeah, I think go ahead, mention it. And anyway, he became my agent enough to send me into Cheers. Now, Cheers was the first audition I'd ever been on. I've been working 10 years straight over in London. And you don't really audition over there. You know, you meet with the director, you chat a little bit. And so Cheers, I walked into Cheers and they gave me sides. I didn't know what a side was. That's nice. Whatever. So I read it once and put it in my back pocket. And I went in and there was everybody sitting around facing me. Looking around. Jimmy Burrows said, so what are you looking for? I said, well, a chair. I join you guys. I figured we'd do chat. He said, no, you're here to audition. You're not here to chat. I said, oh, no. So I felt all the blood rush over my body. And I did a terrible job. I would have thrown myself out of there long before I left. Anyway, as I was walking out the door, I said, hey, I have a Barnolo. And I said, what are you talking about? And so I launched into an improvised version of a Barnolo. And it got them laughing. And it got them laughing enough that 2 days later I got the call. They want to try that character out. So that was the birth of Cliff.
Like it was your conception, basically.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And did they end up writing it for you, or did you just go directly from that audition to the pilot?
Yeah, always from that audition to the pilot. The first year, I think I missed one show. Anyway, the second year, that's going to be a regular.
Oh, got it. Okay.
But the first year, I was so different from what they were used to. They were used to that actor coming in.
Was it as much as like we were sad to see it go off the air, were you guys ready for it to go off the air because you'd been doing it for so long, or was it sad for you guys as well?
I don't know. Yeah, it was a little sad, but then you know, like I said, I've been working overseas for 10 years, and so I got used to the fact, okay, this is another chapter. This is another, okay, this chapter's over. Now we go on to the next thing, whatever that is. It could be going back to carpentry, putting on roofs in snowstorms in North Vermont. I had no idea. You really don't. You don't have any idea. You put it in God's hands, and that's it.
Have you always had faith in your
I
life?
had something, yeah. I guess we can call it faith, but I just it was of the time too where you could hitchhike and just take off, just go on the road, and I did. I believe that. Okay, well, let's see what this holds for me, and that's the way I live my life.
It was fun to have you play, like, you did such a great job in the movie What If?
Oh, the angel.
Yeah,
Yeah.
as an angel. Like, I mean, like, you know, yeah. I just remember the first time you got to that little town in Michigan when we were shooting it. I was seeing you into your hotel room. I don't know if you probably don't remember this, but it makes me laugh because you went into the restroom and used the restroom, but the door was somehow still open. I was like moving your bags in because this is at the beginning of we had a company called Flix, but we had just started a couple years earlier. And this was our first theatrical realm, you know, into the theater. We had done a couple of home entertainment movies before that, but it was just you just were hilarious. You played that role so perfectly. And obviously we had the reboot of it just a few years, I don't know, even 6 months ago into theaters again. And I want to say thank you for always, you know, it's just, you innately are so funny no matter what you're doing. It's as an audience member, it's just fun to watch.
Thank you. I wish I could remember the situation with men's room door and everything, but
You were just making
I
all
think it
kinds of
comes from my
sounds,
mother.
which were funny. It was merely a comedy. You were doing your own comedy sketch in there, and I didn't know what to do because I had
I
just
don't
like
remember.
met you.
I guess I do that. I get that from my mother. She never took anything seriously. She go, oh, and somebody lost their leg. And she, oh, it'll be okay.
Coming off of that sitcom, did you have a thing basically where people would just see you as a comedic actor?
Yeah, pretty much. And so I said, well, I'm not going to change Hollywood. I'm not serious roles on the stage in London. Sam Shepard plays and this and that. But yeah, I can do serious work, but I'm not going to beg for it.
How has the business changed for you? Are you shocked of where Hollywood has gone to, or is it kind of what you always thought it would be?
No, I'm not shocked at anything. I remember, it wasn't that long ago. It was a generation past that most actors, actresses, they were patriots. We had World War II going on, and everybody was behind the government, the soldiers, and now not so much. And so, but it's coming back, and it's everything's cyclical. Everything happens in cycles,
Yeah.
and you just sit out the cycle if you don't like it, or you see an opportunity, you to try to change the cycle.
You've lived through so many different decades to watch in this town that you have the wisdom to go, oh, it'll come back again. Like you don't get freaked out at oh, it's going one way, or like, I mean, there's no doubt about it. Like when Cheers was on, there was a sweetness to the industry in the way that there were only, so many channels to watch, and it would drive families to watch, like Cheers, different, shows. Whereas there's so much, going on with the streaming and and all the different platforms that you could be doing a show under.
There are a lot of different platforms, but I don't understand how I can change all that. I mean, I don't have a studio. I'm not MGM. I'm not Paramount. Skydance bought Paramount, didn't they? Did a animation for Skydance.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, a good bunch of people.
Was it hard to get into voice acting, or was that something that somebody came to you and said, please do Toy Story?
Or my agent got a call, said, want to know if John wants to be the voice of a piggy bank. I said, sure. Never heard of Pixar. No one had ever heard of Pixar. Yet here they are. They're the biggest animation studio. Save Disney, because Disney was going down the tubes if it weren't for the deal Steve Jobs made. But it saved Disney.
How many Toy Stories are there? 5 now?
5. The 5th one be coming out in June next year.
Oh, wow. How long does it take to do your character's voice? How long do you have to go into the booth and do that?
Anywhere from 20 minutes to a couple hours.
I mean, and do you do it is it like a month of your life, or is it like a week of your life?
No, I get the call. I go into the studio. I get the scripts in front of me. I go page by page. The director's there. I just finished with Skydance, with Brad Bird, called Ray Gun. And that's going to be a good show. But then again, Toy Story 5 is going to be really good. That was Andrew Stanton. So I go in and I try to keep it real simple, because I didn't have the advantage of going to an acting school and say I should suffer for my art and all that baloney. So I just go in and try to do my best and not embarrass them or myself.
Did you ever want to go to acting school?
Before I went to England, a director said, hey, I got I don't know what he said, or I know the guy at, some famous studio in New York City, Lee Strasberg. And it was a course. I went in, I don't know what the hell they're doing.
The Strasberg method.
I didn't even know what they were doing. It was like, I didn't know. So I lost interest, and I guess it was just after that I went to England.
I'm just surprised that you didn't study more in England, or was it more kind of that wasn't your thing,
No, it's such a closed shop unless you're very famous. And after, let's say, 6, 7 years, we became famous enough that we were invited to Royal Academy of Dramatic Arts to teach a class of our method of comedy. They wanted to know how we did it. And I forgot about the whole thing. And I got a call, and he says, my partner said, we got that thing at Royal Academy of Dramatic Arts today. I said, all right. And on the bus going, I turned to him, I said, what is our method? He said, I don't know. We were about the same. So so we went, and the class we gave was the same approach as our show. We just stepped into it and said, okay, what's going on here? Oh, all right. And you got people taking notes and this and that, and discussing drama. I don't know what they're talking about, but we did it.
Have you ever went back and taught another class?
In different schools, yeah. I once told somebody this. I get a 6-pack of beer, stick it on your arm, and drive cross country. That's it. By the time you finish, you're going to get it. Because if you grow up in a cocoon, in a bubble, you get that bubble. You understand what the bubble's about. You understand what the cocoon is about. But you don't understand out there. You can put yourself in a situation that you're not comfortable in. Something. But just learn something. And that's the best advice I could give.
It's pretty good advice. Have we ever wanted to write a book?
Yeah, they're after me to write another one. Yeah, my daughter, she really wants me to write one.
Have you written one before?
Yeah, Made in America, a common man's salute to an uncommon country.
It's a good title. All right, so we've done one, and now your family's saying, please do another one.
I guess I don't think about it until somebody asks me, like you.
Yeah. Well, your family texted me and said, please make sure that you ask John about the book.
Okay, I'll get right on that.
Well, it's hard to write a book. I've written one book, and it takes forever to write them, and it's tough. It's cool in a way because you're remembering a lot of stuff, but
I think to leave a paper and pen next to your bed until that moment, that quiet moment. That's when I think the best stuff comes out.
I always
That's when your mind's free and you start traveling a little bit, and you remember things that you don't normally remember, talk about, are concerned about until that moment, that quiet moment. That's when I think the best stuff comes out.
I always find that I think about all the things that I didn't accomplish during the day and I need to do tomorrow, like, take the trash out or move the car or, the basic stuff.
Well, there's your next book.
Yeah, really interesting stuff.
Sure, there you go. The bestseller right there.
There it is, right there. How about with agents and stuff? Did you end up staying with the same agents through all these years?
I probably have more agents than anybody in Hollywood. I don't know, the agents I'm with now, I think I like them. I think they're good people.
Did it take you to get through like 6, 7 agents to find the good folks?
One agent here, I got rid of him because he was doing coke.
When you were meeting with him, or you would see him out?
Once in a restaurant, and he's all coked up. I can't handle this. He's a good agent, well known.
Well, I mean, the 80s here in Hollywood had to be, it's astounding to me, though, that, like even cocaine is still around. Like, so many people did it in the 80s and 90s, right? And they, especially here in Hollywood, and I'm sure everywhere. But didn't we learn anything from history? Just look back at any cocaine movie or any, like, they never end up well, like Blow. Johnny Depp goes to jail. Like, in every movie, Scarface, his doing cocaine didn't really work out so well for him.
That's because, I remember my father saying to me and a couple of guys I was with, I could go over the house, whatever. He says, "You guys think you're a big deal, huh? You think it just because you're doing marijuana and this and that." And I looked at him. So what are you talking about? He says, I was, there's a whole bunch of people where we lived, and there was a sort of beach part that the older generation claimed as theirs. And they said, we were over on that beach smoking marijuana in the 1920s, or the 30s or whatever it was, before the war. And I remember that came as a shock. Like, wait a minute. The 60s, we didn't discover marijuana? Marijuana's been here a long time. And so that's the way. But now what we have is movies advertising the drug, rock and roll, whatever it is. It's been around.
Did you have a wild era in Hollywood or from your 20s on, or have you always been pretty conservative in your lifestyle choices?
I think I got the wild stuff out of me in London. The 10 years I spent in London and touring Europe, a couple of bachelor Americans, doing shows in Amsterdam. And so by the time I got to Hollywood, that was old stuff. That was stuff in the past.
Our podcast is, the tagline is Dare to Dream. When you tell young people if they have a desire to somehow have a hit comedy show, #1 show in the world, like you did for so long, what's the wisdom that you give to them? Is it basically get up, go to work, and come home, or go to London first and sow your oats, or what do you say to those folks out there?
I always say, get a skill that you own. Like I said before, I was a carpenter for a long time. Get something that you own, something that gives you self-assuredness. And then go about be an actor, be a dancer, painter, whatever you want to be. But get something you own, a skill you own yourself. To me, that's key. Because as a carpenter, I can still build a house and everything in it, and that gives you a certain sense of worth.
Yeah. And freedom. Was that what motivated you to end up going into what's the organization that you work with now called?
Nuts, bolts, and thingamajigs. But since then, I've given it over to another organization, and what they do is they set up summer camps for kids to learn how to operate machinery,
Yeah.
learn what tools are for, but it's frightening how many children, how many men especially, have just abandoned the idea of using tools. And I love tools. Monkey wrench, a pair of channel locks, whatever it is. I just praise the people who made them, who invented them. Because the tools, to be able to be a man and use tools, know what they're for, and make something, build something, create something that's useful. That to me is the be all and end all. I gotta hand it to the people who can look at a car that doesn't run. I say, oh man, we can get that running. Wow.
Yeah, it is pretty impressive. John, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. I've been a big fan of your work. It's been a pleasure to work with you several times. And I hope you'll come back and do some of our movies again sometime soon.
I get the information now.
Hold on a second.
Tell me where to show up. Tell me where to be. What time?
Oh gosh, I love it. Will do. Well, John Ratzenberger. Wow. I hope that was encouraging to you guys. Please subscribe. Please comment as well. I have a question to you. Can you rebuild your car when it breaks down? Can you rebuild it? Or can you rebuild a table in your house? So on behalf of John Ratzenberger, if not, please tell us in the comment below. And don't forget to subscribe and watch this. So appreciate you guys. God bless you, and I'll see you next time.